people. I am Minister Server. I thank each of you for being here right now. No, you could have been anywhere else doing anything else. There's a lot of information in a little bit of time, so we're going to cover a lot of stuff. But as I said, this is hip-hop culture, our story. The culture of hip-hop, our story. So I want people to feel free to add on and add into that. Before we get started, I want to take time right now just to give thanks to the Most High, known by many different attributes, and with true believers that is never a dispute. We know there's one power, one presence, one intelligence that governs the entire universe. It is the spirit of immortality within us, expressing itself through us as us, giving us the force and power that is a higher infinite power healing our people, that which we call hip-hop. So allow your minds to be open, receptive to all of the information. Feel free to add on to any information that you feel is relevant for this, and let's have a good time talking about the culture of hip-hop, our story. Word. So as we get moving in this, the first thing that we have to really understand about this is the purpose. Why are we doing this? Well, we're doing this to show the various aspects of hip-hop culture beyond entertainment. You know, unfortunately right now, when you hear the word hip-hop, most people think of rap music, negative rap music at that. You know, they don't really, a number of times, even those that have even experienced hip-hop culture don't always remember that rap is just one aspect. And if you're talking about mainstream rap music, you're not even getting the best of that aspect, of that element. You're getting something that other folks want you to hear. So the purpose of this is to talk about hip-hop culture beyond entertainment. And we're also going to show the connection of hip-hop culture to the ancient cultural elements that have added to progressive social change throughout history. There's nothing new about hip-hop. It's simply a renewed thought and a renewed consciousness. We're also going to show how hip-hop culture can be used as life strategies for your own self-empowerment and a way to bridge the gap of cultural understanding between youth and adults, and also between races and ethnicities and different classes of people and things of that nature. Hip-hop is a true healing, harmonizing force when it's practiced from its origin, which is to bring folks together. Okay, I love this quote. It says, "A people without knowledge of their past origin, history, and culture is like a tree without roots." That's from the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, gave us that quote. And as we go through this presentation, I want you to remember that quote because it's really important that we understand our past origin, history, and culture, so we're not a rootless people and we're not able to be taken advantage of. I think one of the reasons why we exploit it so much as a culture, not only are we a young culture, but we are an unknowing culture sometimes. We forgot what our roots are and how we came to be. So in this presentation, I hope to bring out some of those things that to help us kind of remember, and we can share with each other as well. Word. Okay, what is hip-hop? Now, as you know, that term hip-hop conjures up a lot of feelings and a lot of thoughts to a lot of people. So I wanted to get a number of different sources of what hip-hop is. And mind you, what we say hip-hop is not the definitive end-all, be-all. There are many forms of what we say hip-hop can be. What we say, when I say we, I'm talking about those who consider themselves to be hip-hop. Like my shirt says, I am hip-hop. Well, people that say I am hip-hop, we take it a lot deeper than the average person takes it. Okay, according to Wikipedia, hip-hop is a cultural movement that consists of breakdancing, graffiti, rapping, and DJing, which originated in the South Bronx in the early 70s. Now, in 1974, the Universal Zulu Nation established hip-hop as a culture that uses breaking, MCing, graffiti, and DJing as a way to achieve peace, unity, love, and having fun. It was a way to get past the chaos and confusion that was going on in those communities, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. The Temple of Hip-Hop teaches that hip-hop is a feeling, a sight, a point of view, a culture that has at least 9 elements of expression. They can be used as life strategies for self-improvement, self-empowerment, positive social change. Okay. Now, according to the United Nations, hip-hop is the fastest growing culture in the world. People all over the planet are using elements of hip-hop culture to express themselves. It's still, particularly outside the United States of America, it's still a voice for the voiceless. No matter what's going on in the mainstream, through hip-hop culture, people are able to express themselves in different art and creative forms to give a voice to the communities that may not have a voice in that mainstream, whatever society they may be in. Hip-hop Ministries teaches that hip-hop is a higher infinite power healing our people. It's a spiritual consciousness created to enlighten, inspire, and empower people. Hip hop should help you fulfill your divine purpose by allowing you to be your true self. You know, one of the things I love most about hip hop culture is that in hip hop, we truly accept you where you are. If you want to really be authentically you, I don't know too many other cultures that are as open and welcoming and you being your authentic self as hip hop. Now, obviously, we have some things that we're still working through in the culture itself, but the consciousness behind it is really one that really helps you to be a better you. I tell people all the time, you can call it whatever you want, but if you're doing authentic, true hip hop, then it's going to make you a better you. It's in the very consciousness of what it is for you to become better by being involved in this culture. Okay, so when we talk about hip hop, we talk about the origins and culture. We have to understand the conditions in urban America in the 60s and 70s created hip hop culture. This was during the time we call the Dark Age, or the Age of Revolution, between 1960 and 1970. This was a time when every institution was under threat in America: politics, race, education, and so forth. It was being challenged for the authenticity. If you look back in history, the 60s was probably the most turbulent decade that we've had in modern American history. You know, we had, I think, at least five national leaders that were assassinated during just that one 10-year period. And just so coming out of the civil rights movement and the black nationalist movement and the hippies movement, all these different type of movements that were going on in the 60s and 70s created the environment that would be later be known as hip-hop culture. This was also during the time that many first-generation hip-hoppers, that's the term that you may hear me using throughout the presentation, first-generation hip-hoppers. These are people that were born between 1960 and 1980, give or take a few years on each side, but typically between 1960 and 1980, first-generation hip-hoppers. Now also during this time, it's important to know that from the